Hola chiquitis, it's me Pat here at Mistellation, and today I'm bringing you a book review. So back in my last video, I made a book haul and I mentioned that I was going to be reading Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. That was like 5 months ago or something. It's funny because I did read the book quite fast. Like, it's not that I just read it, but I never really got to filming this review for some reason. Okay, so on to the review. So this book, as you know if you watched my last video, is a Mulan retelling. It's based on the Disney movie, but it changes because there's like a different premise. And the premise is that what would happen if Mulan had to travel to the underworld. This book starts in media res, and it's in the part where the Chinese army are fighting the Huns on that valley, and there's the famous scene in which Mulan forces an avalanche to defeat the Huns. But here's what it changes. So if y'all remember, in this scene Mulan's get wounded, and that's how they find out that she's a woman. But in this book, Shang gets wounded trying to protect Mulan from getting the killing blow. They win the battle, but Shang is wounded. So the whole point of the book is that Shang's injury is very serious. He won't even make it to the next day, okay? It's like he's unconscious and has a fever, and like they've lost all hope that he's gonna live. But Mulan feels really guilty because, you know, it was her fault that he's injured because he was lashed open as a fish trying to protect her. So yeah, she feels like it's her responsibility to make sure he lives. If you remember, like, this is a small detail, but if you remember in the movie, they discover that Shang's father has gotten killed in an ambush from the Huns. So in the book, when Mulan is like looking over Shang at night to make sure he doesn't die suddenly, Father Shang ghost comes to look after his son. Shang's father is like, you know, you can really save his life if you do one small little thing. And Mulan is like, oh, sure, tell me. And Shang's father tells her that if she goes to the underworld and pleads for Shang's life to the king of the underworld, she might have a chance to get him back. Which is a bad plan in and of itself. But you know, Shang's father doesn't just send Mulan to the underworld by herself. That would be just mean. No. He gives her a lion. I don't know if you remember, but in my previous video I was wondering if Mushu would be in this book because Mushu's like my favorite character. Well, he is for like the first 3 pages. Instead of Mushu, Lim introduces a new character. So you know, Mushu is like the guardian spirit for the Fa family. So the Li family, Shang's family, has a guardian as well. It's a lion. His name is Shishi, and well, he's basically Mushu but furrier. Like, there was like no absolute need for him. Like, Mulan could have just brought Mushu along and have the key character comic relief, and it would have been fine. I would have been happy. Like, he's Mushu but furrier. Oh my god, that's it, isn't it? It was for the furries. So Mulan and Shishi get to the underworld. They request an audience with King Yama, who's the ruler of the realm, and she kindly requests to have Shang's soul back so he can live. To which King Yama says,
no. What do you mean no? I mean no. You want to hear it in Spanish? No.
Yeah, it was a bad plan. Mulan is a bit desperate, so she ends up making a deal with King Yama, which consists in if she can get Shishi, Shang, and herself to the gates of the underworld before the sun rises, they are all free to go. Shang gets to leave, everything's fine. However, if she doesn't, Mulan stays on the underworld forever and turns into a demon. Maybe I'm not romantic enough or something, but that seems like a whole lot to risk for somebody who doesn't even know your real name. But as I said before, Mulan is desperate, so she accepts the deal. Good luck. The rest of the book is just very basic, you know. They find Shang, they get into a trip to cross the underworld because they don't really know where the gates are, because, you know, if everybody knew, nobody would stay dead. But I'm not going to spoil the end, so you'll have to read it to find out if they make it out. Overall, I like this book. It just feels like a very fast-paced, extended fanfiction to the original movie, and I really enjoyed the Disney movie, so this was like a treat for me. It's a very quick read. So this is like 400 pages, but you can read like in 2 days. It's not thick to get through at all. I would say that my least favorite thing about this book was Shishi, because, you know, I just really felt that Lim just got Mushu, turned him into a lion, and just sent him on his way. And it's not that I hated it, but I felt like, why would she do that instead of just having Mushu follow Mulan to the underworld? Overall, I think I gave this book 3 stars on Goodreads, which meant that I found it okay. Like, I don't know if I would reread it. I'm not a very rereading kind of person, to be honest, but I do like to reread my favorite books like 1,000 times. And I don't feel like this is a book that I would pick up again and give it a second read because I feel like as the universe is already made, like it's taken from the movie and the characters are taken from the movie, and the story is not very complex, I don't feel like there's a lot of details that I would rediscover reading it back again. But I still enjoyed it. I think I laughed a lot. Like, I was like stopping every 3 pages just to laugh, because everything was just kind of silly, but not in a bad way. Like, it was well written. The inner reflections, Mulan's inner reflections were super smooth. Like, she didn't take like 10 pages to reflect over why she doesn't feel content with her assigned roles. Like, it's very quick and to the point, and I really like that. As I've said, this was kind of like a fanfiction. It was like, I don't know, like if you read a fanfiction, there's a lot of character development, or at least there's a lot of character interaction, because if you read a fanfiction, it's 99% of the time is just to have character interaction that is lacking on the original media. But in here, I feel like it was like a shallow character interaction. Like, it was more centered in the plot, but it's a very simple plot. So overall, with the lacking of character interaction and the very simple plot, it ends up feeling a bit shallow. I feel bad saying this because I really liked to read this book and I was very excited, and I love the cover and I love the premise. I really love the premise. And I feel kind of bad saying bad things about it, but it's the truth, you know? It ended up feeling like Mulan's guilt trip to save a guy that she barely knows, and it barely knows her. And in the end, like, if you love Mulan, like the character, obviously you enjoy the book. But if you're kind of like just looking for something nostalgic to read, like if it reminds you of your childhood for the Disney movies theme, then I feel like it's going to disappoint you, because there is not a lot of juice. It's been such a long time since I posted my last video, but yeah, I haven't had the energy to set up the camera and film. But I have been reading, so I have planned a lot of content for the channel, so please stay tuned if you want to know what I have planned for you. And yeah, I hope to see you next time. Adeu!